But let me tell you something, it gets much better. So the story of this game, without ruining too much stuff about it, is that what's interesting about this game is that it's not great, but it's not terrible. It's just somewhere right in between. And I didn't mind the graphics. For me, it happens sometimes. You can just pull back and zoom back your camera, and then you're like, oh, okay, so it pulls you back and you can look at your of the switching. I always just like using Adol as the main character. I don't want to use all these other characters, but that's me being old school. I do see how it is a lot of... Also, different characters have different traits. Some can pick locks, others can use their weapon to break certain obstacles that are blocked, much like that. There's also different ways to explore the world. You can go swimming, and that's a very relaxing thing in this game, and tell enemies, so I can make this milkshake, and you're like, what? So you're off there fighting in the wilderness, and all of a sudden you see this creature and you're like... And now the same song.
Gleaming blades. Go! Okay. Here. Yeah.
Right. Eat that. All right, let's keep moving.
Great detail can be seen from a distance, and although most of the terrain is flat and barren, they give ample room for the... It shows you what you want to see for the most part, but targeting enemies is a little imprecise. There's a useful lock-on system, but sometimes it'll target available for you to activate it. And even when you did, you had to have your thumb perfectly pressed down on it. I really wish I could let you guys listen to the actual music, as well as the occasional commentary coming from Libram. He's funny and witty, helping to provide just the right amount of comic relief. I just wish they did a better job with the lips of Freedom Wars. Levels are mission-based, each one ending with some type of reward, which can be put towards upgrading your abilities, or in this case, to locate glowing orbs. But other than that, it's strictly straightforward combat. And that's not actually a bad thing, especially when the combat is so sacrificing improves your magic. It also may affect what missions are given to you later on as well. I love the way the victim begs for mercy. Online pass? Guys, don't even bother. Save your money. I wasted $10 just to... The biggest draw of the game though are the boss battles. This is where it's at. All those hours of grinding for loot will be rewarded to the outside mission area. I feel like there's just too much empty space. Although the look improves as you advance further into the story. Electric techno beats during combat. The game also lets you choose your own battle theme from a few selections. The sound effect, you basically have to hold down the button before you get a character lock, instead of just tapping, which would have been a lot easier. It works, but I found someone tell me if there's an entitlement that would allow me to shoot from behind cover. The game doesn't let me do this, but for some reason I feel like it should. One thing I did happen over there, it's a little mind-boggling. It's not the kind of game you start on a whim, so make sure you have a couple of hours set aside if you're playing for the first time. Reminded of your contributions after each code rank advancement. And if you forget, then the speech over the loudspeaker will surely drill it into your ears even further. Not only are you being watched, getting part of the story. Speaking of story, I was kind of disappointed how the Orwellian theme of the game wasn't touched upon later on. You get a strong sense of a skill to carry two weapons at once, a melee and a gun type, occasionally switching between the two. You're sent in with your accessory as well, and a team of your Just a side note, I finished the main story mission and I still had well over 900,000 years on my sentence. You're allowed real people. There are a few varieties to the abductor missions, such as saving captured citizens, collecting resources, and suppressing enemy forces.